Hey, welcome back. Thank you for joining me in this next presentation. This particular DVD is going to focus upon Bunkai-jutsu, or actually the term is a term using Japanese grammar or grammatical composition, and it refers to the analyses of something in this particular situation, grammar. Our situation today is going to mean the analysis of techniques. One of the issues with regards to Bunkai-jutsu over this last generation or so is the effort to analyze the movements and then try to figure out or reverse engineer the application practice. Fortunately, having the opportunity to come from old school practices, my teacher Kinjo Hiroshi, who just died sadly a few years ago and nearly 95 years old, had a wonderful lineage. Impeccable, if I can use that particular term. His principal teachers were Hanashiro Chomo, Gusukuma Shimpan, Tokuro Anbun, Oshiro Chojo, and of course he'd had the opportunity to work and mingle and mix with some of the other pioneers, Miyagi Chojun, Motobu Choki, and so on. The reason I mention that is merely to help better understand that prior to the development of modern karate, before Itosu Anko took the secret tradition out from the closed doors of ambiguity and introduced it into modified it and then introduced it into the school system to be used as a cultural recreation or an adjunct to focus on physical fitness and social conformity, the tradition had another side to it that we have not really seen in the modern interpretation, and that was the two-person drills. What I mean to say by the two-person drills is on the attacking side of the two-person drill was what I refer to as the habitual acts of physical violence. That contextual premise is the baseline foundation from which the application practices would become a means. And that by taking these conceptual philosophies or these tiny template rituals that address these particular acts of physical violence in their solo reenactment form and linking them together into a geometrical configuration, we arrive at something greater than the sum total of its individual parts, and therein lies kata. So I like to say from the onset that kata by itself was never meant to teach you anything, in spite of the wonderfully beneficial assets it has, physical, philosophical, spiritual, meditative, and so on, a form of meditation and motion, if you will. The essence was, to culminate the lesson, you should have already learned in a two-person practice. That is the most important part. And today, the focus is on Bunkai-jutsu, with the focus being upon the habitual act of physical violence. We'll walk through the practices, and then at the end, I'll show you the solo representation of the template so that you can identify it. This particular DVD will focus largely on those Shaolin Southern Chinese-based application practices that were cultivated in and around the old castle capital district of Shuri during the Okinawa's old Ryukyu kingdom period. These formed the foundations of what has learned, which in 1927, largely due to Kano Jigoro's visit to Okinawa in January, became known as Shuri-te. And from the Shuri-te traditions, of course, we have the Shorin-ryu, many branches and schools of that interpretation, and certainly also that gave birth to at least part of Shotokan, and of course, as we know, at least a significant portion of Shitoryu karate by Mabuni Kemo sensei. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I look forward to working with you. Thank you very much.